And God bless America and God bless you. Welcome to our viewers for race 6 out of 6 in our 6-pack of the MRL Monday Mayhem Cup. I'm G Money coming to you live from our broadcast booth here on MRL Racing Network with my tag team partner, Snake. We got Joe down, Pit Road Joe down there waiting to do some interviews with us. Snake, how are we looking tonight for race 6 out of 6?
Oh, it's shake and bake time. What do you think? Talladega, anything's on the table here. We're here for the penultimate race in the Gen 6 pack, as it's coined. Running Gen 6 cars tonight at Talladega. I'm ready to see some tandem action. What about you?
Oh, Snake, I'm telling you, Matt Novella, Joe Vulpes, these two guys have been battling for 5 races, back and forth. We've seen Novella take 2. We saw Vulpes win last week at Dover, and he's got an 11-point deficit to make up to try to overtake Novella. Snake, this is a must-win for Joe Vulpes. You've got other drivers on the outside looking in, most notably the 88 of Steve Lewis. But this guy, he needs Vulpes and both Novella to finish in the back of the field. And the guy's got to get all the bonus points. He's got to qualify first. He needs the fastest lap. He needs the leading lap. He needs the most laps and 0 incidents just to have a shot. So we're really looking at Vulpes, Novella here at Talladega. What do you think, Snake? Who's going to take this thing?
You got me all hyped up. I want to get in one of these cars and get behind the wheel.
I mean, my God, it's Talladega. The Cup Series runs here twice, once in June, once in October, right in the middle of the playoffs. By the way, you can catch me OV Hill North. I got season tickets. Come on down and visit in October. But this is amazing. Monday Mayhem Cup Series for the MRL right here live on the MRL Series. Let's look at tonight's leading lineup. What do we got, Snake?
Well, during the qualifying results, you have Kyle Anott on the pole. He is one of our fast part-time drivers. He runs in many series. Got Joe Vulpes in second there, outside pole. Quite a fast lap time. David Owens in row 2 with Brandon Garand outside, followed by Brian Norsworthy, Jackson Duval, the Florida man, followed by Steve Lewis in that 88, and then Matt Novella, the championship leader, in 8th, and then John Beverly in 9th, and Jack Sanders will fire off in 10th to round out our field tonight.
I'll tell you what, Novella, he is the points leader, got an 11-point lead, but starting in 8th, a little bit awkward. It is a super speedway. These guys are going to be rotating positions really fast, especially with these next-gen cars. You stay in that lead group, and you're going to be fine. Even if you tail off a little bit, we've seen 2- and 3-car packs catch back up to a larger group and get competitive again really quickly. So again, the thing we're looking for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, can Vulpes catch Novella? Novella, Fat Man, as he likes to be called. This guy has been running strong all season long, and I don't know. I think this might be the series that we're going to see Novella take that dub, take that championship, and get that plaque.
Well, we have 80 laps in store for us tonight, and just to clear up a point of reference here, we're running Gen 6 cars, so a little throwback. The next gens will have to wait until next season, which will start in late January, but I think I'm hearing the call. Are you hearing the call, G-Money?
I sure do. Let's go down to trackside for our Grand Marshal to give the command to start engines.
The right time! Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And here we go, Snake. The cars are rolling. I mean, I've got goosebumps on my arms after hearing Larry Mack tell these guys to start their engines, and we are seeing them rolling around Talladega here live in Alabama.
In true Larry Mack fashion, business is picking up as we will go green here this time around. Who doesn't love a good super speedway race? You know, it's just the big crapshoot, the big guess. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So many different variables at play, and hopefully luck is on your side.
Are you kidding me? I'll tell you who doesn't love a super speedway. Me. I'm running on a console in Heat 5. I'm leading the points, going 6-7 lap races into the season, and then we come to Daytona, and then we come to Atlanta, and then we come to Talladega, and then I got every Tom, Dick, and Harry that's running 5 laps down at Dover is suddenly thinking he can win on this track. And that's what you're looking at tonight, except you're looking at every Garand, Duval, and Norworthy thinking this is their race that they're going to win.
We're going to have to get you off of that console and into the sim here, G-Money. This is where it's at. iRacing, the ultimate sim, the ultimate place to get your racing fix. It's one hell of a time, and we're about to go green here tonight.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be some amazing racing. Talladega, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this draft is so important. We're going to be running 86 laps and seeing who can keep up, who can stay in that draft, and we're going to find out what the preferred line is. I see the pace car is coming off, and they're bringing him around to that start-finish line.
Entering the tri-oval here, we'll see him go into the Geico restart zone here and fire off the lap 1 of 80 here tonight at Talladega. Lynott on the pole, Vulpes on the outside. Entering the zone here, and we're going green, baby. Let's go.
How long is Lynott going to keep up front? I haven't seen him run up there a lot, but Vulpes on the outside getting that big push from Garand. Duval on the inside giving a push, Norsworthy as well. And we're going to see Lynott taking it around the first turn in the lead. Outside lane trying to push hard and close that gap.
Yeah, Vulpes trying with just a gentle side draft. These guys fire up, get up to speed. It's going to take roughly 1 lap to get up to top speed here. A little pushing and shoving here as we see 2 somewhat unformed lines here. Looks like a nice little shove there to get Vulpes into the point position, see if he can get points for leading that first lap.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Garand pushing Vulpes really hard. I was surprised because I saw Duval go high. Duval's the third car on that outside lane, and I thought when he went high, that outside lane was going to lose momentum. But, oh no, they kept pushing hard, and Vulpes found himself right in the mix. But on that inside, we are looking at Lynott pushing hard with Owens giving him all he can handle right under that. And Lewis, look at the, actually it's the 23 car pushing hard right behind on that inside lane.
Yeah, guys taking a little conservatively on that first lap there. You want to get up to speed. You don't want to have too much pushing and shoving to go on there. You know, we have a long race ahead of us. There's no need to wreck turn 1, lap 1. There's no way you're going to win anything pushing the car that early in the race. It looks like we have 1 nice form line on the bottom. We'll see if these guys decide to mix it up, see what their cars have here, or if they're just content to ride. As we see, we have a taker on the outside line there.
Oh, Owens couldn't even wait 2 laps, and then he finds himself pushing hard on the outside, getting a draft from the 57, pushing himself up into the lead, overtaking that inside lane. You said that these guys are going to take their time. My word, CNH, if this is them taking their time, I can only imagine what it's going to look like 10 laps in.
David Owens in that Mountain Dew 11 said, you know what, that's a little too much too early. Let me back it off and get out of this mess. So he, while going to the front, decided, you know what, I think it's better to ride in the back for now.
Guy's a veteran. You know, he's seen the patterns. He's seen the formations. And the guy knows when a wreck's going to occur. And the guy knows when you're going to run smooth. He thought there was going to be a wreck. He came down, opened it up to the others. And yet we see him. 4 cars on that outside lane. 6 on that inside lane as they're coming around into turn 3. And we see Garand and Lynott fighting for the lead.
And you see those guys up there on the high line trying to see what riding wall is going to be about. You know, I think they want to try a little bit of the side draft. We'll see if they're just sizing each other up, if they want to run those tandems a little closer together here. You got Lynott on the outside leading the the top line. Well, you have Brandon Grand in that 57 on the bottom line, and Lynott playing a little defense, drifts down to the bottom. You don't want to get too far out in front. They're going to reel you in and blow your doors off.
That's true, but he is, look at him swerving up and down, really doing his best to stay up in that lead. I'm not gonna call the guy Ryan Newman yet, but he's doing a great job of keeping cars behind him until now, and we see Garand on that inside lane, finding those fast cars to push him, going up to the front. He's got the 23 pushing his door hard of Nursworthy, pushing him into the lead.
Yeah, it takes you can get a nice clean line formed on the bottom. You get a really good group going on there. A little more skill to get that higher line going to keep everybody in tow with you. You want to really just sneak in there, keep that line nice and clean so you can take full advantage of that draft. You don't want to stick in there too long. Sometimes you have to stick that nose out to keep that temperature down. You don't want to blow an engine this early in the race.
You know, that's something we can really think about is how long does it take these tires to heat up and give you optimal traction? All 10 cars still in that first main group. You've run here before, Snage. That outside line. I mean, how many laps does it take those tires to really groove in until you can trust them to just stay wide open when you're in that middle or even that upper group?
Yeah, we're at lap 6 right now, and these tires are up to temperature. You have optimal wear. There's not going to be too much fall off here at the super speedway, so you can count on those good years to last you a full fuel run and then some. So the drivers are going to have full confidence in the tires and the grip on the track. It just all dictates on the conditions of the track, whether it's a hot and greasy surface, and whether your setup is favored more for a tight or loose condition.
You know, something else, just for the fans and probably a little bit for the drivers, as you look at these paint schemes on the cars, you might see the superhero theme. Today is the superhero theme for some of these guys. You're looking at Garand running up there in the front, and he is running the traditional Bass Pro Shops paint scheme. But then right behind him, you're looking at Norsworthy, John Deere, Ford, and other of these guys. Matt Novella running that Wolverine scheme, Joe Vulpes running that Joker scheme, David Owens, Mr. Zero Chill himself, running that Dark Knight Rises, John Beverly running that Deadpool scheme. So it is really fun to see these guys, having a good time and running these superhero themes.
Looks like Beverly's out in front. See if he can come down there, get credit for a lap led, get himself a bonus point early on in this first run of this race here at Talladega.
Yeah, that was something we were talking about earlier. There's multiple ways to gain points. Race 6 of 6 in our MRL 6-pack right here on Monday Mayhem Cup Series. And Beverly is going to take that opportunity to get him some of those bonus points. Other ways to do it: lead the most laps, have 0 incidents, the fastest lap, qualifying lap, most laps. A lot of ways that these drivers are going to find their way to accumulate points. But remember, Snage, this is the 6th race of 6 races. And we're really looking at Novella, who's running back in 7th, and Vulpes finds himself in 10th. This is ridiculous. How are these 2 top drivers running in the back 3?
And running conservatively right now, as we saw the backstretch of that prior lap. Steve Lewis gave Jax Duval a hell of a push to assume the lead, and he'll get credit for a lap led there. But, you're a championship contender. It all comes down to discipline. How far do you want to push the issue at lap 9 of 80 tonight? Is it really worth risking losing it all and having no shot and being there at the end when it all matters?
I don't know, but we're looking at Duval up in the 84 of the Harley Quinn paint scheme, leading these boys around. Garand in 2nd, Norsworthy 3rd, Louis in 4th, and Matt Novella in 5th. If Novella can just stay ahead, if the guy can just stay ahead of Vulpes, he's going to win this short 6-pack series championship here in the Monday Mayhem Cup Series.
All I got to say, G-Money, is, hey, Puddin'.
Oh, that was dirty.
Got Duval. Yep, I caught you. Sometimes I got to do it to him, folks. But we have some wonderful action here. Duval getting pushed by Garand in the 57 in that lovely orange glow Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet.
Oh, he is
Ford
right up.
Mustang. Ford Mustang. My
Oh, he's
mistake. Flew over
right up
fan.
in his tail. Look at this thing. Duval, Moran, Nursworthy, Lanat. Hey, why not? Why can't this guy get up in the lead and take a dub? This thing's wide open right now. All 10 cars find themselves in this lead lap. It is just rotating quicker than a baker flipping donuts right now, Snage. There's nobody who can't win this race.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun here with a smaller field tonight. You know, these guys really want to put on a show for the fans, and you know, there's a nice competitive rivalry there. Everybody's got the juices flowing. It's a championship atmosphere. It's the last race of this mini season. You know, they want to put their talents on display, and I'm just here as a spectator and a commentator, really enjoying myself right now.
Absolutely. I mean, look at that. 7th place Beverly. The guy was in first not even 2 laps ago. These guys are wide open, and David Owens, we've seen Zero Chill take multiple championships, and the guy finds himself magically in 10th place. And Novella, who might win, could win, should win a championship, finding himself in 5th place with Joe Volpus in that 13, chasing him hard all the way back in 9th.
Yeah, and it's no surprise our leader in the 84, Jax Duval, he has a special knack at these super speedways. You can't count him out. He just has a way of finding himself to the front and just clicking laps away as your leader. So, you know, we'll keep an eye on him, see how the race progresses. But back to your point on David Owens, we called that Bonfire Racing League Truck Series Championship, and I recall saying that he was dead last, and we weren't sure what he was doing back there, almost losing the draft, and methodically he found his way back to the front when it mattered, and he brought home that championship trophy. So I wonder if a little bit of that's in store for today. We'll keep our eye on him as well as that Dark Knight Rises, that tribute to Dale Jr. machine back from that Michigan win. It's looking really sexy tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Zero Chill himself chasing him down. You know why David Owens isn't in that championship hunt, Snage? It's because he's got one less start. Okay? There are a couple of drivers out here tonight that have only 4 of the 5 maximum starts. And David Owens is one of them. But it's not his fault. Things arise. Real life occurs. And let's face it, when you're racing here as an amateur, real life comes first. And there's no judgment in that. But looking at drivers that have only started the 4 races instead of 5, we see Jack Sanders and David Owens fighting for that. Jack Sanders, 139 points. David Owens, 134 points. So it's going to be really interesting to see which of these 2 drivers with only 4 starts out of the 5 races so far could actually finish in front of one or the other. And those 2 guys right now are awful close to each other. We see Owens running in the 8th spot, and we see Sanders just slightly ahead of him. So let's keep an eye on Owens. I mean, Zero Chill, this guy, he's won championships, he's won races. The guy's patient, but if you get in front of him and you play stupid games, you're going to win stupid prizes.
I couldn't have said it better myself. As we see Duval back in the lead in 84 after Grant leads a lap prior to get credit for a lap led tonight. And, you know, it's just a big chess match. You know, you don't necessarily want to show your hand or be out to a big advantage, but you do want to try to develop relationships in terms of who you can work with, who you can push with, who's willing to work with you. You know, it's better to find these things out earlier in the race than to just be on a one-man mission to try to conquer the draft and get out in front and put your helpers and those that have got you there by the wayside. You need to develop those trusts, those alliances. Since there are no teams in this series, you need to get a teammate per se to help you get to the front and stay in the front.
Oh, you're talking about no teams, but let's face it. Gulf Coast Racing, you're looking at Volpus and David Owens. These 2 guys have been hooking up and pushing each other every race for at least a year. So if Owens has that opportunity to push Volpus On paper, he should. But the reality is, when Zero Chill finds himself in that top 3, he wants to win. He can't resist. And if you wiggle in front of him, he's going to treat you like an obstacle and push right into that front. Let's look back at that front. Owens running last at the moment. Duvall, Florida man himself, in the lead. Garand in the 57 second. Beverly, Norsworthy, and Novella, our points leader, finding himself in fifth. Oh, what's going on?
Oh, looks like Novella just gets into the rear and takes Beverly out as they were trying to get that high line working. They were mounting a charge, and I don't know what happened coming out of 2 there, but we find Beverly in the wall. Novella a little anxious to push the pace this early in the run.
I mean, you can't push these cars in the middle of the turn. You gotta wait.
This is exactly what's going to happen if you decide to do so. So we have our first victim here, and we'll see if we can get the replay here and see exactly how it transpired. But just a shocking incident early in this race.
It's really interesting because Beverly was a car we saw in the lead multiple times. Novella we've seen in the lead. Let's take a look here.
Looks like we're going to be exiting turn 2 here. And Novella here, you want to square up that bumper coming out of the turn and then get back onto locking it. Novella goes on the outside line, and Beverly just wasn't willing to commit because I think he wanted to go down and side draft on the backstretch, and then he just right rear hooked him. That's a no-no.
Look at that on the right rear quarter panel, and nobody's going to survive that kind of push. And Beverly finds his right front right into the wall. Ooh, who's hitting him right there?
Kyle and not an innocent bystander, nowhere to go. It's just simple physics. There's just nowhere to go, not enough time to stop.
Unbelievable. So this is exactly what you see at these super speedways, though. I mean, you're going 200 miles an hour, and you can't hit the brakes. Even if you hit the brakes, those things are just going to turn red, and you're going to slow down 10 mile an hour, and you still hit the guy in front of you at 185 miles an hour. And right there, look at Beverly, where it's spinning.
Give him credit for sticking it up there and not wiping out David Owens or others in the back of the pack there. But terrible break. The beauty of this series is the fact that you get one fast repair. So, it's a golden ticket, especially at a super speedway. You'd rather hold on to it than utilize it early. We'll go down to our pit reporter, Pit Road Joe, and see what he's got to say on things. I'm sure some guys are going to be takers down here on pit lane as we get back to the pace car.
Who's
so we do
saying
have
what,
some
Joe?
reports here. We got some reports that the 01 and the 988 are going to have to come and check their damage, see how bad it is, especially with how fragile these Gen 6 cars can be. Looks like everybody else is probably most likely going to come and take some 4 fresh tires, take some fuel, and get group back up here behind the pace car and get ready for another restart here in a few laps.
I'll tell you what, who is the beneficiary of that is the car running in third, Joe Vulpes. He's in third, Matt Novella in 8th. And we need to see Vulpes win to take this championship, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather be in third than 8th.
Yeah, I'd rather be up front. It decreases the risk of being caught up in the big one. And Vulpes vying for this championship, he needs to catch every break and get every point possible, where Novella essentially just needs to finish the race.
And amazing, if you look at the history of these drivers, we've seen Vulpes take 4 iRacing championships in his brief career. And Matt Novella, Fat Man, we have yet to see this guy take a championship. But I'll tell you what, the guy's had 2 wins so far this year in our 6-pack, and he's the favorite. I mean, the guy is the favorite, and here we see them all coming onto pit row. Is that all 10 cars?
Yeah, Joe, what's going on down there? Who's getting what?
We got all 10 cars down here. We got some taking fuel only. It looks like Vulpes is going to come out of pit road first. as he leaves pit road before Brandon Garan. Duval's going to fall to third after taking tires. Norsworthy fourth. Novella's back into fifth. We got Steve Lewis. He came out in sixth. And then we got some guys look like maybe fixing some damage. Jack Sanders, Kyle Lynott. He had some damage from the wreck. David Owens may have had a few seconds of optionals. He's still sitting on pit road. And John Beverly is taking his optional repairs as well from that first incident here of the race.
And it just goes to show you don't want to use that fast repair unless you ultimately have to. We'll see if he's still going to be competitive and stick in that draft.
You know, sometimes you don't have a choice. Vulpes comes out finding himself in first. We said he needed to win the championship. Guess what? Guy's in first. Garand in second. Duval, Florida man himself, in third. Ryan Norsworthy and Matt Novella, our series leader, finding himself in fifth place. Steve Lewis, Mr. T-Bone in sixth. Colonel Sanders in seventh. Brian, why not lie not, finds himself in eighth. David No Chill Owens finding himself in ninth, and John Beverly. I mean, the guy was just an unfortunate victim right there. We saw him leading the race. We saw him with fastest times, and suddenly, one accident, the poor man's in 10th place. What do you think, C? We're going to see him push back up? How's this going to work out?
We'll just have to find out, but he'll have to exit the pits here. It looks like he's got a little more damage than he bargained for. His pit crew trying to get him back out there as he fires off. That car looks like it has a little bit of damage. These Gen 6 cars are a little bit more fragile than the current next gen, so it doesn't take much to rough him up. And
what's he doing? Is he saving? Is he saving the quick repair? What's happening?
Looks like he's trying to save that fast repair, and it looks like we have some other takers back in there. Joe, what are these guys doing down there? They're topping off, or they have some more damage to repair?
So what we're looking at here is, looks like we're looking at some people topping off. Kyle Lynott, Matt Novella, and David Owens are all going to come back down pit road and try and get themselves maybe into a bit of a better position on the fuel window, which is about 28 laps. Looks like they're trying to just have a little extra fuel than the rest of the field, and maybe push a little bit harder as we go further and further into this race.
I don't blame them. I mean, we've seen this whole race, 10 cars staying in that lead lap. Why wouldn't you pit? We've seen the first place car become the 8th place car in 2 laps. We've seen the 10th place car become the 2nd place car in 3 laps. Why not? Get more gas, push that fuel run a little bit further. This is the first caution we've seen in 20 laps. A little bit more clean driving. Who knows? Those 3 guys that just took fuel, we could see them push it a little bit further. As Pit Road Joe just said, 26 laps is your fuel window. They might be able to come in and take a half a tank instead of, take 1 tank instead of 2, and maybe push a little bit farther ahead.
Yeah, a lot of options are still on the table. A small enough field like this, it's really no harm, no foul. Why not get that little extra splash, get you another lap or 2 advantage over your competitors? Makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 10 guys, especially these drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, these 10 drivers run in multiple series. We see them on a Monday, we see them on a Friday, we see them on a Saturday. These guys are veterans. Pace car coming off the track as they are coming around to that start-finish line.
Yeah, we're about to go green here. These guys got full fuel load, some with freshies, some without. These tires really do hold up a long time. Geico restart zone. We are fired off. We are back green, folks.
This is going to be some hard racing. This is our first caution coming back to green, and Joe Vulpes is going to lead him into lap 1 on the inside. Duval, Florida man himself, in the purple and black car, pushing as hard as he can. And then we're going to look at Garan, Lewis, Matt Novella in 5th.
And these guys firing back up, coming back up to speed here. We really don't have 2 well-formed lines. We see Garan shooting out to the outside, trying to use his run, but without help, he's not going anywhere.
No, absolutely not. You know, we saw Duval give a little push. Duval caught the draft. Duval went by Vulpes. Duval's in first. Vulpes in second. Garan on the outside, pushing as hard as he can. Whoa, what was that, a spin?
That is a spin. Looks like Novella lost it, but he was able to gather it back up. well, is that Jack Sanders involved? So he is going to stay on the pace. No yellow flag here. He got a little squirrely there.
Yeah, but he's out of the draft. He's got no partners right now. So instead of 200 miles an hour, the poor guy, the Colonel, he's going to find himself running around that track at about $190. Not where you want to be.
He's going to be like a boat anchor.
An unfortunate circumstance for the Colonel. But let's look back up at the front as we see Duval, Florida man, leading the pack. Vulpes pushing as hard as he can. Right behind him. Vulpes, though, needs to win. He can't be complacent and just follow in second place. This is race 6, the final race. He's got to get by him. Steve Lewis, T-Bone in 3rd. Matt Novella, Fat Man 4th. Norsworthy 5th. Grand 6th. Hey, why not run in 7th and Zero Chill run in 8th?
Steve Lewis in 3rd in that 88 machine there, the Air Louis brand. Nice homage to Jordan there. He is just outside of the points there to really have a shot. He was eliminated before the race, but you know he'd want to play spoiler and win a super speedway. He just loves these kind of tracks. He loves to go fast, and I think we'll hear from him before it's all said and done.
Well, I mean, come on. Ross Chastain won that last race in Phoenix, and you think he was sad? I mean, sure, the 12 might have taken the championship, but Ross Chastain was doing donuts just the same after he won that race, and Lewis wouldn't mind doing it. What's going on with David Owens here in the back?
I think he was kind of caught up in that little incident that detached Jack Sanders from the draft, so David Owens is off the pace a little bit as well. He's going to sink as well. Maybe he can link up with Sanders and they can maybe try to keep some kind of interval without eventually succumbing and going a lap down, which will happen here after a handful of laps.
Absolutely, and we're looking at the 8, 9, and 10 car running off the pace. Beverly in 10th, Sanders in 9th, and Owens, Zero Chill, running back in 8th, kind of falling off the pace, almost 9 seconds.
Beverly still has some damage there. He's going to go a lap down. He's in desperate need of a caution.
It was not good. Beverly took that chance, didn't take the fast repair. Really paying the price for it now.
I think his mindset was cautions breed cautions, but maybe too early in the race to be that optimistic as we see Duval at command here.
Yeah, the other thing you're looking at also is you only got 10 cars in this race. It's a big track. And so the odds of the race, the caution coming out, not as great as they could be in a larger field, especially when you're dealing with these 10 veteran drivers. Not only have these men run multiple races in multiple series, they've been running with each other for a while, and they're starting to figure out each other's tendencies. And when you see a guy coming on the inside, you know the slide job's coming, you let off a little bit. You see the guy going on the outside, you know what he's going to do. You just keep it down. He gives you a little bit of room. These 10 veterans have seen each other for a while. And let's look at that front pack as you see 7 cars in that lead group pushing hard. Florida man himself, Duval in the lead, Vulpes in second.
And we sort of get that high line working there. Kyle Lynott leading the charge up top there. Brandon Grand pushing him, and Brian Norsworthy as your 3rd car there. But we see Duval trying to play a little defense. A little late for the block up high, so Lynott's going to have to run. And let's see if he'll inch him here at the line. High line does have the momentum. Yep.
Veteran move right there to let them go by. You know, not cause the wreck. If the guy's running 5 mile an hour faster than you, it's not a block. It's a moving accident. Let him go by. 57 and Coran in the lead. Look at Lynott, though, with a charge.
Yeah. Nickname Pop. I think, he wanted to come into this race, play spoiler, show him, hey, guys, you know, you want to win, you got to go through me first.
Hey, the only spoiling I don't like is spoiled meat. And if you're going to come in and win a race, you deserve to get on that podium as much as the next guy. And that's Lynott. That's exactly his thinking. But Florida man Duval chasing hard. Brian Garand 3rd. Vulpes wants to win a championship 4th. Brian Norsworthy 5th. Right in the midst.
As we come there, lap 28, he wants once they cross the line here. You know, a little more than a third of the way through, not quite the halfway yet. These guys are just feeling each other out still, just content to kind of click some laps off. You know, tensions got a little high after that first wreck. I think we just seeing these guys calm down a little bit, just get in a groove, just hit their marks, and you know, just wait a little while. We have some more pit cycles to go through, and then see where we're at before they start playing hero ball.
I tell you what, though, it took 28 laps for this lead group to finally fall down into single file racing. I mean, they kept thinking, if you're going to go high, I'm going to go high. And we saw that upper lane, that second lane, develop every time. But here we are at lap 28, and you're looking at Lynott bring them around, and these guys are finally following in to single file racing.
Yeah, and this plays into a little bit of strategy here. You know, you just stay in line, use a little less throttle, save a little fuel. So I think these guys are just taking care of their equipment, try to stretch the fuel run out as long as possible.
You know, what's Lynott doing here, though? The guy goes a little high. Did he relinquish the... Oh, into the wall. Who was that?
That's Grand in the 57. You know, these cars don't turn on a dime like that. He had a hell of a run coming out of the turn there. Thought he could slingshot it around Lynott, and just ran out of real estate there. You know, I give kudos to the move. It just didn't work out.
Yeah. Well, that puts Duvall back in the lead. Florida man himself, and Vulpes, who wanting the win, needing the win, he finds himself in second. But guess what? Matt Novella, our series leader, right behind him. Oh, Vulpes goes high, Novella low. Vulpes has no teammates. What's he doing up there?
He's taking that run as long as he can. Looks like his help is coming, but looks like that run got stalled before he could get by Duvall in the 84. Sometimes, you know, you just testing things out for later on and seeing what could work, what could not work, and see if anybody's willing to step out with you.
Well, Lynott's not his friend. The guy immediately was looking low behind him, and then Lynott comes down, makes it 3 wide, pushes down in front of Duvall to get the inside lane. Vulpes with a hot run finds himself from the inside to the outside and in the lead. Top 3, Vulpes, Lynott, and third place, Florida man, Duvall.
There's so much for staying single file, huh?
These guys, I mean, there's no patience. Every time we think they're going to just click off some laps, the next thing you know, they go 2-3 wide and start fighting for the position. Is that a lapped car I see coming up in front?
That is. It doesn't take long. Beverly definitely underpowered, has that aero damage. He's going to be swallowed here as they go on the back stretch, and he's just waving them on by. He's like, boys, I'll live to fight another day.
Well, you know what, though? The guy didn't use that quick repair. He's suffering a little bit of aero damage, but he's one caution away from being the lucky dog and right back in this thing. You know, we saw Beverly lead some laps early on, but right now he's just become a victim of that contact between him and Novella. Novella in fourth, it didn't suffer quite as much as John Beverly.
Yeah, Novella's still intact. You know, he's he just didn't have the damage there after the contact. He was able to squeak by. So, you know, he's still competitive, still in the draft, but a lot of racing left to go here. So we'll see what happens as it unfolds. He's your championship leader, so maybe he's taking calculated risks while still pushing the envelope.
Could be. Look at Vulpes, goes up high. Lynott goes with him. Duvall on the bottom finds himself alone. This is really amazing how we see these cars able to have 2 cars push just as hard as 5 cars on the inside, and then just as soon as it's on the outside, Vulpes cuts down hard and then comes right back up. Looks like we're 3 wide, see?
We are 3 wide right now. Look at this. Grand and Norsworthy, seeing if the Dale line up there is going to work today. I like it.
I don't even understand what's happening right now. I'm a conservative driver. I'm going to hug that apron.
Norsworthy in the wall, similar to what happened to Grand a few laps prior. Ouch.
I mean, we're 33 laps into this thing. Did Norsworthy take tires? I can't even remember who took tires, who didn't. Super speedway, so it's not like we're counting laps on these tires. But after you run about 33 laps, it might become an issue.
you'll start showing some minor wear, but those tires should still be intact. The only problem is you carry such momentum out of the turn there, you really can't turn the cars on the dime, so you're gonna drift up like that. And unfortunately, like Garand a few laps ago, he just ran out of real estate, and hopefully that doesn't give him wheel damage.
Nah, you don't want to see that. It's too early in the race. You want to see these guys stay grouped together and figure this out on the racetrack, and not because of a mechanical issue. 7 cars on the lead lap, and look who's in the lead. T-Bone himself, Steve Lewis, cutting down hard on Duvall to keep that lead from the 57 on the outside.
Yeah, the old Fast Louie in the 88 there, and that black, yellow, pink 88. He's dunking on him now. He wants to lead a few laps and say, hey guys, this is the way to the finish line.
I mean, remember, you lead a lap, you get some points. You lead the most laps, you get some points. This is going to be tough. 57's going to steal those points from Louis, who yet to find himself leading the lap.
Yeah, we have Garand up there on the high line. You just get such momentum up there when that grouping is well formed. A lot of momentum, carry a lot of speed there. So it's really exciting to watch. You know, they just look like they're shot out of a cannon.
Oh, but it's got to be frustrating. Louis thought he was going to take himself 5 points right there by leading the lap. And then all of a sudden, Garand zips through, steals the points. You know, it's not like we haven't seen Louis run before. Fast Louis won Atlanta in the second race. This guy knows how to run a super speedway, but yet Garand robs him of those 5 points. Let's see who crosses the start finish
Gonna
first
try
here.
it again.
23 pushing.
And you can just see the difference in the lines. The top line was a little bit better formed. You have Novella laying off the 84. So it's basically 2 cars versus 3 there, and that's where you have your advantage.
Yeah, now it's 4 versus 3. Look at that back car of Vulpes just kind of dancing back and forth.
Yeah, he's just riding along the lines, carrying the draft, laying off the throttle, saving a little bit of fuel. It's a wise play, and you're still staying out of harm's way, and you got a little distance between you and the car in front, so you're getting some air on the nose, keeping those temps cool.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, if you're Steve Lewis, you're on the outside looking in. You need to lead a lap. You need to lead the most laps. He needs Vulpes to go away if he wants a chance at winning this. Because right now, T-Bone finds himself on that inside lane, the lead car of that inside lane. But on the outside, you're just looking at that 57 and that 23 hooked up and running fast. And Florida Man decides to make it 3 wide.
Looks like he got a little arrow tight and pushed up a lane. Almost makes contact with Lynott there in that white 3-digit monster. As he chops down there, he's wanting to get back to the front.
And Norsworthy as well, running right there in second place, having a lot of decisions to make as far as he's going to push. And he's going to push Garand right now. We're going to see Garand in the lead, Norsworthy behind. Lynott pushes to the outside, and he's got some help from Lewis and Florida Man right behind.
And you have Garand and Norsworthy working together. They're teammates in another way. They're both Buffalo Bills fans, so maybe they found that alliance and decided, hey, with Bills Mafia got to stick together here.
I'll tell you what, that Bills Mafia, they've taken a rough hit this season, and they'd sure like to make up for it here on this track at Talladega. But right now, you've got a lot more going on than just football. You've got hardcore racing as we see a new leader, Lynott, taking the lead, getting a hard push from Garand, and Lewis on the outside looking in.
Hey, really good pack racing right here. The guys are just taking chances, not really pushing the envelope too far, just keeping the racing exciting, giving the fans a show. It's what Talladega should be about here.
I mean, we've got 7 guys running as hard as they can right now. They're staying in that main group. You know, we've lost 3. We've lost 3 of the cars from this lead 7. We're 1 caution away from them catching up. We're 1 caution away from Beverly getting back on that lead lap. But right now, David Owens, Jack Sanders on the outside looking at.
Kyle Lynott at the point being pushed by Garand and Norsworthy there. And it looks like they've gone back to single file here. I think they'll just calm down for another lap or 2 before they decide to have sparks fly again and mix it up some more. I think it's a wise play here. Try to save a little fuel, try to get closer to that mark here, so makes the pitting more exciting here.
When do you think we're looking at another pit? We're on lap 40.
Well, they
Pitted at 20.
we pitted around lap 20, so it looks like we'll be in our pit window in roughly 8 laps or so.
It's going to be interesting. You know, pits can be the place where you win and lose. Remember, in iRacing, you're the guy
Caution is
controlling.
out. Caution is out.
Caution? What, why?
Caution has been displayed. I think maybe there's a little debris on the track here. We'll have to get with the iRacing officials and see what this is all about. Joe, do you have any news on what may have triggered that caution?
Let's give everybody a little NASCAR history lesson. If you remember the way NASCAR officials used to operate the races back in the mid-2000s, you would see these phantom debris cautions that would pop up every now and again. It seems that the iRacing and the admins of the MRL Monday Mayhem have found some phantom debris, maybe a water bottle or a roll bar pad on the racetrack to throw a caution here and bunch everybody back up.
What do we got? Jimmy Spencer throwing a hot dog wrapper on the track? What's going on?
Yeah, incredible. That brings me back. I used to see that every week just when the racing was getting good. And then you figure that we were going to be in for a long run. Boom, debris on the track.
I'll tell you what, David Owens, Zero Chill, is going to be a big beneficiary of this. And the Colonel, Jack Sanders, he's going to catch up as well. But the biggest beneficiary has to be the 0-1 at Beverly. The guy was a lap down. He's going to be the lucky dog unless he was the cause of the caution, and that's going to put him back on the lead lap.
And it looks like he was not directly involved in the caution. Looks like just a generic debris caution. No drivers involved as you see him flying around trying to get that lap back. And Kyle Lynott enters pit road first. Joe, what's going on down there? Who's getting service and what are they getting today?
Once again, we're going to have everybody come down pit road. We'll see if some guys take 4 tires, see if some guys maybe take 2, fuel only. We definitely know that David Owens, Jack Sanders, and John Beverly are going to have some damage to fix once again, along with a few guys that hit the wall there, actually. We saw Brandon Garand and Brian Norsworthy hit the wall off turn 2 there a little hard, so they may have a bit of optional damage that they may want to fix. It looks like Kyle Lynott is out of pit road after taking fuel only. He will be the first one off pit road here on this sequence of pit stops. Looks like we may have Matt Novella. He's going to come out in second. Looks like Duval's going to come out in third. Vulpes is going to come out in fourth. It looks like everybody else is still getting some damage fixed, however. So we're going to wait and see who comes out here first. Looks like Steve Lewis is going to be the next one who has the least amount of damage, and then Jack Sanders, which will leave Owens, Norsworthy, and Garand on pit road as John Beverly, your lucky dog, comes onto pit road now to start fixing some of his damage as well.
What about those quick repairs, Joe? Who's taking a quick repair and who's just going to take the chance?
Everyone to this point has not taken a fast repair. They want to hold on to that in case the big one does happen here at Talladega. So it's all about trooping it out here with whatever damage you do have and trying to just hold on to the draft by getting as much of it fixed as possible.
How long can you play the game, though? We saw Beverly go a lap down. The guy needed the quick repair, and yet he didn't play the game, goes a lap down. We're halfway through this race. You're just going to keep pushing it till the end?
I just think, you're roughly a little bit past halfway here. Usually in these type of races, the closer to the end of the race, the more drama develops. So if you're looking at it that way, you want to hold on to that fast repair because we ain't seen nothing yet.
10 cars, though. What are the odds of another caution? That one was the result of random debris, a hot dog wrapper on the coming out of pit 4. These guys got serious testicular fortitude. So after the caution, coming out, we see Lynott in first, Novella in second, Duval, Vulpes, Lewis, your top 5.
Oh yeah, while the legitimacy of the caution is definitely in question, this it brings us to one of those restart opportunities, and the old adage, cautions breed caution. So, I mean, anything could happen once we line up here. You see the lights off the pace car, so we will be going green this time.
I'll tell you what, we see Lynott running up there in front. Yet to see that guy really with a big win, but he's due. The guy's won championships in other series. Wouldn't be surprised to see that 908 car taking a dub.
Yeah, he did race Kansas in the first season under the next gen platform, and in that one race, he came in and spoiled. So we know he's capable. We know he has the goods. We'll see if he can survive another 40 or so laps and bring home that trophy.
You know, another driver, we see Lynott, Matt Novella running second, series leader, and Duvall running third. You know, Duvall, that's kind of like Racer X. Guy doesn't want you to know his real name, driver out of Florida, and kind of keeping it under wraps. So it's real interesting to see when he runs, and always fascinated to see the style that he's going to run. Is he a team player? Is he a lone ranger? Going to be interesting to see how this thing develops as we find ourselves at that halfway point, 43 out of 86 laps, and they're about to come to a green flag restart.
Yeah, you can count on Duvall to do what you don't expect him to do. Expect the unexpected with that character. He's a cool cat, smooth under pressure. We're about to go green as the pace car is pulling off, and we'll enter the Geico restart zone once more.
Yeah, there goes that pace car down pit road, and we see him coming around lap turn 4, coming out of this caution. You know, Duvall running a really interesting paint scheme, as well as we see him with that Harley Quinn Chevrolet, and Lynott's gonna lead him around to the Geico start finish line as they power into turn 1.
Lynott fires off clean there, gets a nice start there, and it looks like everybody got a good start there. Got some guys laying back, just want to ride along, as you see Duvall pushing Novella, and Lynott, you got a 3-car breakaway. Easy, guys, don't get squirrely there.
They're tight right there as those lead 4 trying to push away from the rest of the pack, running single file. Sanders 5th, Garand 6th with 7th, Norrisworthy 8th, Beverly 9, Owens 10th, as they find 2 distinct groups, 4 cars in the front, 6 in the back.
Vulpes tags on that front pack, so you got a 4-car breakaway, and looks like the others are slowly reeling them in, as you see Jack Sanders there and Brandon Garand directly behind him. Lynott jumps to the outside, no help to be had. I think he just wants to drift back and ride, because that was a little chaotic restart there. Looks like those guys were trying to push each other through each other.
Oh, there were no teammates right there. That was a complete situation of Duvall being a little bit slower than the others thought, and you just see Vulpes, Sanders, and Novella pushing hard. You know, the Colonel has not been in the front all day long, and Jack Sanders would sure as heck like to get his 5 bonus points for leading the lap.
I think the Colonel is keeping his secret recipe a secret, and I like what he's doing here. He's just kind of blending. He had that unfortunate incident where he was marked down the track on the backstretch, ended up losing the draft. So I think he just wants to make sure he's in the catbird seat here, stay in the draft, and then maybe show his hand a little later on.
Well, I'll tell you what, who's in the catbird seat's got to be Vulpes, though. The guy's got a draft behind him, and he's got the pull of the draft in front of him. It's got a little bit of dirty air, but you know what? As soon as we see Duvall wiggle, I would bet you nickels on a dollar that Vulpes is going to shoot high or low and try to take the push.
Absolutely. Just sticking that nose out here periodically, get some fresh air under there, keep those temps down. You don't want to overheat and lose power. You want to still be able to bump draft Duvall and keep the momentum going here. As you see, a clear 4 cars and then 2 packs directly behind them here. So you see a couple different strategies at play. They're just reshuffling the deck a little bit. Let's see what they're going to do here.
Talladega, such a chaotic track. Do I push to the front, risk being in the quote-unquote big one, or do I sit back and take my time? And if you take your time, you might find yourself exactly where John Beverly and David Owens are, which is losing that lead group. You can't take that risk here, though. You got to get back into it. You got to push, and you got to get pulled.
Yeah, at this point, I think Beverly is regretting not taking that fast repair at this point as he's fallen back, and it looks like he took Mr. Two-Time with him as they have definitely lost that draft.
Unfortunate, but you know, lap 47 out of lap 86, you got a lot of race to go, and you're one wreck away from being right back into that main group using the fast repair and finding yourself with a 100% car in the main group. Duval in the lead, Joe Vulpes second, Sanders on the outside, drafted in third, and you're going to have Lewis and Novella as well, top six.
And Duval slides up to block the momentum of the high line there as we get shuffled out. Vulpes down below the yellow line there. Got a little squirrely there.
Nobody's got friends here, see. Nobody's got friends.
There's no quarter will be given.
You know, we keep making the comment about the Gulf Coast Racing, Owens and Vulpes, but guess what? Owens is back in ninth, almost 3 seconds off this, almost 4 seconds off this pace now. Vulpes is on his own, and he's looking at a group of hungry drivers that are wanting that win. Duval, Duran, Lewis, Novella, Sanders. That's your top five. Vulpes in sixth on the outside, looking in, hoping he can close that gap.
Yeah, it's selfish time out there. It's the last race of this 6-race mini-series. There's a championship on the line. There's bragging rights on the line, and everybody's out to prove that they're the man at the super speedway. I expect to see more fireworks as we get closer to the finish.
No doubt. And here we go, side-by-side racing. 4 on the inside, 2 on the outside, and a 6 car kind of dragging behind. Norsworthy making up his mind as he starts that chase, but Garant and Novella really got to make a decision here as far as following Duval.
And we see Lewis and Sanders there with an intense side draft there. You know, it really creates a dramatic effect, and I'm certain these guys are going to use that a little more as we get closer, so we can see who gets an advantage here. As you see Garant slipping outside there, wants to get that second line going, get some really good side-by-side racing.
Duval still in the lead, Florida man himself, Matt Novella, our series leader, very close behind. We see him fanning out behind him. Oh, little contact.
Sanders almost lost it there. Little contact. Looks like they're going to regroup. Nobody's going to lose the draft. We're just going to take a deep breath and ride single file and then reshuffle it once more.
That's the advantage of seeing these veteran drivers, is there is a little contact, but they see it coming. They know when it's going to happen. They can make the adjustment, let off the gas, maybe lean into it a little bit, and carry their forward momentum to not lose that lead pack.
Like Lynott has lost the pack as well, trying to help out David Owens here as they've fallen a couple seconds behind our leaders. And
Very
Beverly
surprising.
still has some damage, so I don't think he's going to be able to tag on and ride with them. He still has some repairs to do.
Yeah, it's really surprising. 3.5, almost 4 seconds behind that lead group. We see Lynott and Owens. Lynott led early, but now he finds himself in a 2-man group trying to work with Owens. There's probably not a better driver to pick if you had to pick a guy to be in a 2-man group trying to catch that lead pack ahead of you.
The man knows what he's doing. He's been there before, and he has what it takes to make it happen, but definitely going to need to catch a break here. You're going to have a caution or some kind of mishap here to get them back into contention.
Well, what he needs is that lead group to start running side by side. You know, they run single file. There's no way that they're going to catch. But as you can see coming out of turn 2 earlier, Owens is right on that tailgate, chasing him down, improving their speed. And we're going to keep an eye on that. We're going to keep an eye on just how far behind those 2 drivers are behind that lead group and see if they can start to catch up.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on those intervals here as we see Garand and Duval side by side, followed behind Novella and Lewis in the 88 right behind. So you have 2 packs here. You got 4 against 3. Looks like Vulpes not pushing the issue too much. Want to keep a little space, maybe save a little fuel, keep those temps down. Lap 53 here, you know, you still have 30 or so laps. Going to have another pit stop before it's all said and done.
When are we looking at them coming out on that pit? You said about 26, is that right?
About 26 to 28 will be our fuel window here. So looks like we had that phantom caution wrap around 41 or so. So you know you're looking another 15 laps or so before we're going to consider pit stop.
All right, so somewhere around 70 ought to make it interesting, especially with tire wear. I mean, at some point, you're going to want to put fresh tires on.
Yes.
I know it's not a big deal, but gosh, it sure is nice to not slide in the middle of turn 3 when you're in a group of 7 cars.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when it comes time for the money stop. I'm certain some have taken tires, but there still might be a few that have not. So I'd be curious to see how we do this here. And let's see if we have a green flag pit stop, more to the point.
Hey, do you feel aggressive? Because Matt Novella does, is he pushes himself on the outside thinking he's going to take over that first position, but he doesn't, and we see Duval continuing. Oh, maybe!
He gets a shot from Duran there to really keep the momentum, and he slides out in front, but he looked DOA there, and he wasn't going to make the move without a little help as he makes an aggressive block on Duval.
I'll tell you what, for a guy that's one win away from a championship, I wouldn't be cutting in front of Florida.
No, he was about an inch or two from being dumped there. Very risky block.
And remember, if you make that mistake, if you're the guy that brings out that caution, you are not eligible to recover that lucky dog position. So if you find yourself a lap down, you're going to stay there. These guys got to be cautious, and they got to use a little bit of common sense. You got the quick repair, sure, but if you're the one caught bringing that yellow out, you could be stuck a lap down real fast.
Yeah, these guys got the competitive juices flowing. They're not thinking about patience. They're not thinking about coulda, woulda, couldas. They're going for it and hoping they can pull it off.
Yeah, unless you're Joe Vulpes back there, second in points, 7th, but he is still in that lead group. And the guy's just kind of cruising along, following, and he's got Steve Louis with that touch of pink down there. You know, see, a little bit earlier, I got to talk with Steve Lewis. Unfortunately, the man did lose his wife in a battle with breast cancer. And Steve Lewis does wear a touch of pink, a hint of pink in his car to battle, remember the battle against breast cancer. So I want to give a little shout out to Steve Lewis right there, and a little bit of remembrance of his wife who did lose that battle.
Cancer affects all of us deeply. We all know somebody, immediate family member, friend, or ourselves, you know. We all know somebody that's had that struggle with that terrible disease. And, you know, my tip of my cap to Steve Lewis in the 9 there. You know, we definitely all want the cure.
Yeah, guy is nothing but class. Nothing but class. You know, my fantasy football league, also lost a competitor teammate to cancer this year. Brian Lopez missed the guy, and you know, we're going to name our championship trophy after Brian Lopez. This season, cancer is a horrible disease, and if you have the opportunity and the means, please assist in defeating cancer. Cancer sucks.
That's a wonderful gesture on your part, and you know, well said, well said. Back to the racing here. Coming up on lap 59 of 86, we have Matt Novella has taken over the lead here with Brandon Grand in 2nd. We have Lewis and Duval fighting for 3rd. And behind them, Colonel Jack Sanders, Brian Norsworthy, and Joe Volpes round out this this lead pack here, this top 7 breakaway. Kyle and Knott, David Owens, they need some help. They're still maintaining the gap, about 2.5 seconds behind. And Beverly needs another caution. And maybe just needs to bite the bullet and use that fast repair. As we
I'll tell you what,
take a look over the field.
Lynott and Owens were almost 4 seconds behind prior. So to see them cut that gap to that point, quite amazing. And as far as who's up in the front of that pack, that's not who Joe Vulpes, the 13, wants to see. He does not want to see Matt Novella leading this race. Novella, remember, this guy's won 2 races this season already. And if he can close out with another dub, I mean, heck, if he can keep Vulpes from winning, Matt Novella's going to come as your 6-pack champion.
Novella, he's at the point here, riding the high line, getting pushed by Colonel Jack Sanders in that National Guard 5 Chevrolet. And, you know, he got a trophy on his mind. He just sees that MRL 6-pack cup. And Vulpes, as he's just riding along, is just hoping that something can happen to reverse his fortune and see which one of these men can take home the cup. Everybody else is mathematically eliminated, so you know they're here to play spoiler. But these 2 men, they're here to win a championship today.
I mean, look at Sanders. He's like a magnet, positive and a negative coming together as he is just pushing Novella around this track. Nobody's going to catch these 2. If Sanders can maintain that distance and that push, nobody's catching these men.
Up, and we see he's off the pace. Was he pushing a little too hard? Did he blow that motor? He is off the pace.
Let's go to pit road, Joe. What's going on?
The
Caution
5
is
car
out.
has blown his motor. He was pushing the 56 car a little bit too far out in front there. Locked bumpers a little bit too long. Did not get any air to the nose of that car. The oil temp went through the roof, and it blew the engine sky high. You can see him. He's now parked on the track. It is finito for that engine in the 5 car. He will need to use his fast repair. He may need to tow here. Looks like he is stranded on the backstretch.
What is going on? I've never seen this before.
Yes.
The engine blew up?
Yeah, he was locking bumpers, and you know, to get that advantage, pushing Novella so far, so long, you have to lay off. You have to stick that nose out to get some air there to cool that off. So he must have seen the gauge in the red and disregarded it, because before you know it, boom, that motor grenaded on him.
I mean, I thought Leroy Jenkins was limited to World of Warcraft, but clearly the Colonel screaming it as he went around turn 3 and 4
And
blowing.
Look
What
at
is this? What is
gesture.
this?
Look at this gesture here. Lynott is going to try to push Sanders. You got to put it in neutral, Colonel. There you go.
At least get off the brake.
Look at this
Oh.
sportsmanship. Great sportsmanship here. Lynott giving Sanders a push to pit road under caution.
I'll tell you what, I'm standing in the booth right now giving the golf clap to Lynott. That is a serious gesture.
That would be my move of the race right there.
I mean, if it's me, I'm driving right by telling him sucks to be you.
Yeah, sucks to suck. Take the tow.
Yeah, because I know I'm going to defeat you now. Lynott, though, got him up to speed, zips around the outside, and he, too, is going to need a pit right here. Joe, what other cars are we looking at coming into the pits?
As we see David Owens assisting in the brotherly shove, to steal a phrase from the Eagles.
Yeah, a technique that ought to be declared illegal.
The tush push.
The illegal eagle.
Yeah, it is. Ban that sucker.
Here we're coming out. Is that Duval in
That's
the front?
Duval exiting pit road first.
Yeah, old Florida man. I'll tell you what, if I was going to wrestle an alligator, I'd definitely want that man on my side. But if I need somebody pushing me in the draft, I don't know if I'd choose that man.
Yeah, he's a crafty one, but you got to keep your eye on him. And we see other cars in pit road. Anything to report down there, Joe?
We got the 5 car. He got pushed. He got huge assists from Kyle Lynott and David Owens to get around here to his pit stall. I do believe he may need to take a couple second tow. He did not park it properly into his stall. So it looks like he's about 25 seconds away from getting his car fixed here back to 100%. It looks like David Owens might be trying to push him just that little bit, but it's not going to let him, because once you get in your pit stalls, it's going to ghost. So it's Yep, there he goes. Jack Sanders. He just had to tow, and now he's gonna have to sit there for about 25 seconds to get his car properly into his box and use his fast repair.
Well, luckily we're not at Bristol and we're at Talladega, where 25 seconds ain't going to kill you and you're going to stay on that lead lap.
Yeah, he would definitely stay on the lead lap after that. A wonderful show of sportsmanship by his fellow competitors there to keep him in the race on the lead lap.
I can't tell you I'd do that, see. I've raced many a season, and I've yet to be the guy that comes down to give you a little bump to get you back in the pit.
I remember myself doing that back in the old console days, and it was actually Steve Lewis. He ran out of fuel on the backstretch at one of these Talladega deals, and I already was in a good points position and said, you know what, I'll sacrifice myself. And I pushed him back to pit road so he could stay in the race and stay in the points hunt.
Well, you're a better man than I am, I'll tell you what.
Let's go back. I had him owe me a favor or three on that one.
If I know Steve Lewis, he's going to hold you to it, too. Let's go back to our race. We got 23 laps remaining as we see these cars come around. 9 cars on the lead lap. Colonel Sanders, 1 lap down. Duval in the lead. Novella, series champion, series leader in second. Garand, Vulpes, Lewis, your top 5.
23 to go. Things are really going to tighten up. You get the lights off the pace car, so we're going to get back at it this lap here. And I think the tensions are going to rise a little more. I think the blood pressure is going to rise a little more. The aggression is going to ratchet up a little bit, and we see everybody down below the apron there, just taking the road less traveled here as we stay pacing.
And now we're done with green flag pit stops, right? I mean, 23 to go. We said they can make around 26. So
yes,
this should be wide open until the end. So the question is, who's got 4 fresh ones and who don't? Who's going to have a good one and who's going to be struggling?
Yeah, barring future cautions, they should make it on fuel and the tires should hold up. So it'll be curious to see. We're in for a shootout.
This ought to be a very exciting finish. Remember, this is the 6th race out of 6 right here in the MRL 6-pack. We're still looking at Matt Novella, our champion, trying to hold off Joe Vulpes, who's in 5th. Lewis on the outside looking in is in 4th. The guy's not out of it, but he's going to need Novella and Vulpes to fall to the back. Is that out of hand? No. Because this is Talladega, and you're 1 wreck away from putting it on the trailer and going home. Pace car off the track. Novella leading him around. Turn 4 as we're about to go green.
Enter the Geico restart zone, maybe for the last time. Novella fires off even with Duval. Looks like Duval is going to get him at the line there. Had a clean restart. And looks like everybody's up to speed here. Let's go racing.
I mean, Florida man, Duval, this guy's been in the front almost the entire second half of this race. Am I surprised to see him there? No. Would I be surprised to see him hold people off? No. The question is, the other drivers, are they going to be the ones that put up with it? As we see Garand pushing hard in 2nd place, seeming content to just get some distance. Vulpes in 3rd. This guy can't afford to wait. Lanat in 4th, and Matt Novella. This guy just needs to hold on to take that championship flag home here in MRL racing.
Duval getting a massive shove. Graham will not leave his rear bumper. We see Vulpes behind him there. As we briefly 3 wide, Lanat tucks down below on the low line there. High line kind of fading, not well formed. The bottom line, everybody running a little single file down there. So I think they're just feeling each other out, just trying to maybe gauge when to really step it up, really when to make that final push here as we are in waning laps of our championship race here at Talladega.
I tell you what, see, though, this feels like a controlled chaos. It seems like everybody's following everybody. Everybody's content. Let's get a little push. Let's stay in this little group of three. And then a car shoots to the top. And then as soon as one guy shoots to the top, like we see Lynott do right there, somebody follows him. Then another car follows him. And then you got Duval in the front. And he's going to go up and down and up and down. Lynott in the lead. Vulpes pushing him. It is chaos. No one can trust anyone right now as we're going to look at Lynott, Novella, Lewis on the inside, pushing by Duval in fourth. And hey, remember John Beverly was a lap down and out of this race and sad and tears everywhere? The guy's in fifth. This thing's still wide open.
Yeah, these guys are really starting to push the issue. Now it's a matter of, hey, look, my run is better than your run, and we're going to up the ante here as we have 20 laps to go.
And you got to figure this out. When do you be aggressive and when do you concede? Because that's what you're showing to the other driver. I'm in third. Hey, you're a little faster. I'm going to let you go by. I'm going to let you go by and I'm going to push you. Because when I get a run, I need you to push me. And that's what's exactly what's going on here. But guess what? This is race 6 out of 6. And sometimes that goes all the way out the window because we all want to win. And that's what we're seeing right now. See, 3 wide going down that back straight.
Yeah, this is Monday Mayhem. The gloves have been off. If you think this is intense, I'm sure it's going to be even more intense as we get closer to the final lap.
Absolutely absurd as we find out who's going to push and win. Lynott in first, Novella needing to stay ahead. Third, Duval, Steve Lewis in fourth, and Joe Vulpes, who needs the win right now in fifth.
And it looks like they're catching their collective breaths once more, riding a little single file as they look to build that high line again and get that run going, mix it up some more here. Lynott holding the point, Novella giving him the push. Duval in third, just waiting for his opportunity to pounce. And Steve Lewis in fourth there. Wonder what's going through his mind as he's seeing all the aggressive pushing and shoving.
I love it. I mean, everybody's your friend and nobody's your friend all at the same time. This is Talladega. You're not going to make a friend here. You're just going to try to delay making an enemy and maybe walk out of this thing without a mortal enemy. As we're going to find Lynott up in the front pushing as hard as he can. 9 cars on the lead lap. Colonel Sanders finding himself in 10th, but still in that lead group pushing as hard as he can.
He's hoping for another caution and him not the result, so he can get his lucky dog and be back on the lead lap there before the finish. And the way these guys are racing, it's going to happen.
Yeah, the guy was up there. I mean, it's not like his car is not able. It's not like he is unable. It's just the unfortunate circumstance of being in a wreck and finding yourself trying to make that repair as these guys are pushing hard. Because we're looking at 10 cars on the lead lap, 6 on the inside, 4 on the outside, until the 57 says, I'll make it 3 wide.
Yeah, these guys are really starting to go for it. Nice 3 wide action. Grant splits it out to the outside there. Will he have help? You see Duval in the center there, getting some help with Louis. And they're just scrambling. They're just fanning out and scrambling here. It's getting really dicey with the blocks and the lane changes here. Really exciting to watch.
Nobody's your friend. Everybody's your friend. It just goes back and forth. Lynette still pushing hard. Novella second. Garand third.
Oh,
what's happening? What's happening?
Duval into Garand on the outside there. Big one there. That's going to be a lot of damage as that's going to bring out yet another caution.
How many people abuse that quick repair, see?
Well, I think we're going to have to take a replay of this, and then once we go down to pit road to see who's going to fix their repairs, maybe we can get a tally from Joe down on pit road.
Joe, how many people abuse that quick repair so far?
So as we get the replay up here for you guys, we have 0 fast repairs used to this point, I believe. We're still in the infancy stages of anybody using them, but it looks like a big wreck here is going to create
4
first.
wide. Look at that.
So this is going to be very aggressive here as you see Novella on the bottom, Duval in the center, and Garand up on the high line here. And let's see what happens as they enter the turn here.
This is super exciting. Is it 3 wide? Is it 4 wide?
Yeah,
Lynette on the
entering turn
inside.
3 here. Yeah.
Look at Vulpes. He's like a vulture.
He's a magnet, man. Like, just stay away from me. Repel.
All right, so there we see as Duval kind of. Oh, and there it
Novella.
is.
Yep. He just didn't think Duval was there. He probably thought he was clear, moved up just a little bit. And
Zero chill goes right into the back end of the 84 of Duval, and also going to catch the 5. And we can
Colonel Sanders, who used
Beverly.
his fast repair for that engine change, makes a little contact.
And we see Louis also with a little touch before he dips below the yellow line. And we just see the 57 sideways. There's Beverly. Guy's been back and forth. I mean, we've seen him in the lead. We've seen him a lap down, and then he went right back to the lead. Talladega is just a heck of a track, ladies and gentlemen.
Is very unforgiving here today. As you can see, he skirts by Garand. We'll have to just get everybody lined up back behind the pace car here and see who our takers are going to be on pit road. Incredible series of events unfolding here in the latter stages of our race here at Talladega today.
I mean, luckily for Beverly, if the guy's already used his quick repair, he doesn't need to be involved in another situation like that, especially when he had nothing to do with it.
It's just the byproduct of super speedway racing. You know, it might not be your fault. You might not be at fault, but you'll get swallowed up just the same.
And we look at our leader, Lynott, coming around, 15 to go. Matt Novella, series leader in second. Joe Vulpes chasing him in third. Norsworthy fourth, and Lewis in fifth. Zero Chill running six. John Beverly 7. Duval 8. You know, we've seen Duval up in the front the whole race. I don't think that guy's going to be there very long. And then Garand and Sanders in the back. Let's see who takes a pit. Let's see who does a quick repair. And let's see who our fast lucky dog is. Golly, see, this is some exciting racing. These guys not holding back right now.
It looks like the fake out from Lynott, the fake out, and we see Novella as a taker.
I mean, come on. It's a caution at a super speedway. Give me new tires. I'll start in the back. I don't care. What's it going to take you? 2 laps to get back to the front?
Yeah, for some, that's a no-brainer. For others, you know, they're just going to stick to the plan and stay out there. And Joe, what do we have going on down there?
We got a bunch of guys taking repairs after this wreck. You got Duval. He needs to take some repairs. You got Steve Lewis. He's taking some tires. Looks like the 01's coming out. He was able to do some good avoidance, wreck avoidance there. Brandon Garand, he got involved. He's trying to fix some damage as well. David Owens, he's fixing damage. Looks like he's coming off pit road now. And it looks like a few guys still sticking around getting their optionals fixed, such as looks like Jax Duval still down there. So it looks like we still got Matt Novella down there, and we still got Brandon Garand down there.
7 cars.
Like Jack Sanders is coming down pit road right now as well. I believe he's your lucky dog here.
The big one at Talladega, G-Money.
This is insane. But you know what? You can expect this almost every year, unless your favorite guy is riding in the pack trying to avoid it. Joey Logano 2022. Other than that, though, there's going to be a wreck, and you just hope your guy can stay out of it. 7 cars, 8 cars, once we see that second driver come down, taking the opportunity for gas or fresh tires or a little bit of repair. Lynott, Vulpes still in the lead. Norsworthy behind him. Lewis, Beverly, Owens, top 6. Novella, though, falling back into 7th. That is our 9th caution of this race. 14 laps to go. I don't even know, see. Can Vulpes pull out this chaos WrestleMania Royal Rumble style Talladega to get that championship, or are we going to see Novella hold serve and take this thing home?
It's anybody's guess at this point as we see the cars forming back up here. The headlights on the pace car. There's something to keep an eye on here as that sunset is looking prettier and prettier in the last stages of our race here today.
No, it's not pretty at all. There's no lights at Talladega. They're going to be in the dark if this thing goes too long. And Toyota, Chevy, Ford, nobody's got lights on the front of their car except the pace car, and that car is going to be gone at the end of this lap.
We see these guys going side by side. Lights are off on the light bar, so we're going to go green this time. There'll be 12 to go when we hit the line, and my goodness, from what we've seen here, you know, a couple of trends I see. Lynott been at the front many times during the race. Duvall leading a lot of laps. Garan making charges on the high line. Let's see what happens here. A little quiet from David Owens. A little quiet from Steve Lewis. I'd like to see how this all shapes up here as they're all going to go for it here shortly.
I mean, and Vulpes as well. I haven't seen that guy in the lead. He's running second right now, but he fades back. It's like he does not want to engage with the fellas that are trying to push to the front. But the guy needs a win. If he doesn't get a win, then this entire six-pack season is for naught. It's either a win or go home situation, checkers or wreckers, and let's see what Vulpes is made out of as we see them going to run these final 13, 12 laps once they cross that start-finish line.
Yeah, we're going to exit turn 4 here. Pace car is going to dip down. They'll enter the tri-oval here. Oh, man, it's going to be fireworks. I can't wait.
It's something insane right here on your Monday Mayhem Cup Series, live on the MRL Broadcasting Network. It is really getting dark, see.
We're approaching dusk here. They need to really fire off here, and we need to see some record lap pace.
They're coming around turn 4, coming up to the Geico start-finish line, and that's right where my seats are, OV Hill North. Really good seats. I'm like 7 laps back right under that tower. And they're coming around, hitting that start-finish line. Look at that lead.
Lynott fires off quickly there as Joe Vulpes threatens on the outside. Norsworthy pushing, going to get up to that rear bumper of Lynott, getting pushed by David Owens here. You know, these guys are getting really feisty now as we're going to be 12 laps to go here to settle things at Talladega.
Vulpes needs a push from Lewis on the outside. Guy's got to get in the lead. If he could just cut down and find himself on that. There he does it. He's in the lead, Vulpes, trying to hold the lead. 12 laps to go. Needs to win to take that championship home. 4-time iRacing champion. Lewis says, no, I want to win.
Steve Lewis hungry to get another super speedway win this season as he dives down in front and takes control of this race here on the back stretch as we approach the tri-oval here. We got 11 laps to go. It's getting dicier. It's getting darker. Who's going to pull out? Who's going to make the move?
All 10 cars on the lead lap. Anybody can win this. Steve Lewis is your leader, getting a hard push on that inside lane by the 56 of Matt Novella. Joe Vulpes, though, finding himself in third. Novella and Joe Vulpes are the 2 cars fighting for this championship. If Novella can stay ahead, it's going to be his. If Vulpes can take the win, it's going to be his. Steve Lewis wants to play the spoiler, wants to get this win, his second win of the season, but he's got 2 hungry championship drivers right behind him.
Steve Lewis says, I want to be the dominant one at the super speedways this season and sweep both races in this 6-race mini season. As we see Matt Novella hungry to try to challenge Joe Vulpes. Will he take command? Will he take this championship?
I've seen Vulpes win races, and I've seen Vulpes watch the race go right by him. He's nowhere near the aggressive driver that we've seen Novella be. He's nowhere near the aggressive driver that we've seen Owens be. He's his own kind of guy, and it's usually not somebody that's going to use that front bumper to push on by. And if this thing goes the way it's been the last 3 laps, the next 10 laps could watch Vulpes finish in second and Novella take his first MRL championship.
Yeah, Steve Lewis going to get credit for another lap led here as they approach the line. We are under 10 laps to go. You know these guys feel the pressure. You know these guys are going to ratchet up the aggression. You understand that a lot's at stake here, and these guys are going to leave it all out on the racetrack here.
This has finally been the season of Lewis. 2 seasons ago, we see Lewis in the lead, and he gets a tie. And he lets
David
people
Owens
pass
on the
him.
high line there trying to make a move. He needs a little help.
There's no way. They're 3 wide right now as we're finding many cars on the inside pushing. That low line, see, that low line is the preferred line, and that's where you're going to get help. And we see Lynott taking the lead, John Beverly back into this race in second place, and Duvall pushing hard in third on that inside.
It is getting dark here on the surface. I know visibility is going to start to be limited here very soon behind the wheel. I don't know what these guys are thinking, but they're trying to set a record pace to get this lap, get this race over with before sunset has completed and there's nothing but darkness as we see Steve Lewis makes contact. Another accident.
Who did he pick up there? That's 2 cars involved.
That was Duvall. And that was Steve Lewis, and that's going to bring out our caution.
Unbelievable. I'm thinking at this point in the race, hug the apron, hold on, see what happens. Steve Lewis on the outside, looked like he got a little contact, comes back down, collects Florida Man, and we see our 10th caution of this Talladega race 6 out of 6 championship race. Let's go back to that replay.
Yeah, we see them coming out of the turn here, and we're going down the backstretch here. So you see the Matt Novella is giving Steve Lewis a push, and once again doesn't square up the bumper. Not quite the right rear hook that he gave Beverly earlier in the race, but it looks like Lewis drifts down, and yes, another right rear hook from Novella.
Look at this.
He's a heavyweight boxer. He's throwing right hooks tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll
Steve
tell
Lewis
you-
in the wall.
I'll tell you what, I thought Jake Paul's knockout tonight was something to see, but Novella putting that punch on Lewis sends him right into the wall and then down. Really unfortunate for Lewis.
And then Duvall nowhere to go, just T-bone himself.
You know, we saw him win in Atlanta, and Duvall, we saw the guy running up front all night. Do these guys still have the quick repair, Lewis and Duvall, or is their day done?
I believe Duvall used his fast repair already, so that's going to put him in peril and probably not competitive. As for Lewis, we'll have to confirm with Joe down in the pits, as I'm unsure if he's taken his fast repair or still has it.
Look at this. This is insane.
It's carnage.
Pitch black.
I mean, it's essentially dusk. You can barely see anything out on the track. These guys are just going for broke here, and an untimely caution here.
And Lynott once again finding himself up at the front. Beverly right behind him. These 2 guys have taken turns being in the lead. Lynott running smooth, and with it being this dark, I would not be surprised if we see him hug that apron and push himself to a victory.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible here. You know, we're going to have roughly 5 laps or so.
Look at Duvall.
Go back green. Yeah, I think that car is toast. I don't believe he has his fast repair. Joe, what can you tell us down there in pit road?
I know it's very hard to see. I got to start getting some flashlights out or something, maybe the spotlights out to actually see what's going on down here. But Duvall did have a fast repair. As you see him, he starts pulling away here out of pit road. He is good to go here for the end of this race. Steve Lewis, on the other hand, I believe he may be in peril. Not sure if he has his fast repair. He has some damage to deal with. Coming here down to the end of this race.
It's a rather unfortunate series of events, and look at that racing surface. It looks like it's after dark, rush hour on the interstate.
I mean, you got to be hugging the apron at this point. If you go up into that second or even that outside line, you're taking your car and danger into your own hands. So on this reset, we're going to see Lynott starting down on that bottom and zero chill David Owens on his tail. Looks like he might take second. Let's see what Beverly does. Does he take the outside line or does he choose to hug the apron and start in second behind him?
And look at that view we're having down there. I don't know how these guys can see anything at this point without the help of that pace car.
No, this is something unreal right here. Talladega, no lights and no plans on adding lights. This super speedway is made for daytime racing, and it seems like it's getting darker every second that we're here.
Look, you can see the telemetry in the cockpit there, the car. That's incredible.
Quite amazing. Owens in fourth, Volpus in fifth, Norsworthy fifth, Sanders, Duval, Lewis trying to catch back up. Garand's still in the pit. Joe, is that guy coming out of the pits or is he done for the day?
His car is indeed toasted right now. He's been out for a little bit, trying to get his repairs fixed from that big wreck about 10 or 15 laps ago. So he's in some serious trouble. He's just having a good time here, watching what we're watching, and looking for some spotlights out there on the track so we could see what's going on.
Does anybody have some safety flares? Maybe they could line on the track. What's going on out here?
Maybe you got some white phosphorus mortars you could launch across this thing. It's dark, ladies and gentlemen, and I can only imagine the difficulty of these drivers as they are trying to traverse Talladega, one of the fastest tracks, where Bill Elliott went 212 miles an hour around this course, and they're trying to figure out how to traverse these last 6 laps when it's dark.
And we know the NASCAR officials would have called this due to darkness, but in MRL fashion, they're going to keep it green here as we're about to restart. Lynott on the inside, Beverly on the outside, and somebody's in the grass already as we go back green.
Oh, this is going to be a heck of a finish. 6 laps to go in the dark.
And we are.
I can't tell when we're starting. Where is the? I don't see lights, so I'm assuming
they're back green. They are back green, and I think we have Lynott in the lead, Beverly in second, David Owens in third. They're seeing essentially what we're seeing, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how they're seeing it.
Hey, there's zero chill, David
Oh,
Owens.
sparks flying, cars in the wall, or cars spinning. Is that going to bring out a caution here with 5 laps? Oh, that's going to bring out the caution once more. What are we doing out here?
Let's wait a few moments and let MRL officials try to regain control of exactly what we're looking at. Remember, guys, this is lap 4 laps to go in the 6th race of a 6-pack to try to figure out this championship. Right now, David Owens being shown in first, Lynott, Beverly, Colonel Sanders, Matt Novella 5th. Looks like he might be heading down into the pits, and Volpus in 6th, right behind him. This thing really comes down to Novella and Volpus. Can Volpus win, take home a championship, or does Novella stay ahead of him and take home that championship? 4 laps to go. We're under caution in the dark.
Yeah, folks, do not try to adjust your screen. This is really happening. Your guess is maybe better than mine, but even being here at the race in the box, really can't get a good vantage point of what's going on right now. We just see a silhouette of the 11 David Owens here.
This is the best picture I've seen.
Only because the pace car is helping us out.
Darn it, leave him out there.
Yes, maybe we could run this race and finish it under caution with aid of the pace car, but it looks like the race stewards are going to say this must end under green. They must finish this race. So, anybody down for some night racing?
I really have never seen this kind of situation before, and I'm really looking forward to see who can keep it straight and guess when it's
Yeah.
time to turn left.
Oh my goodness.
But the reality is, I mean, Vulpes and Novella. Which of these two guys
Who's going to
is going to
survive?
who's going to roll a 7 or an 11, and who's going to roll a 3 or a 12? Not what you want to be looking at for this final race. And right now, our leader in the 01, John Beverly, Lynott behind him, and Zero Chill Owens. That's your top three. As we got 3 laps to go, watching the lights of the pace car going around turn 3.
Yeah. When this goes back green, your guess is I'm gonna have to rely on you, G Money here. Lights are off on the light bar, so we are gonna go back green here. This is unprecedented territory here, and I just don't know what to make of it.
I'll tell you what, somebody spent their 70 cents wisely. As we're looking at the server going pitch black on the inside here at Talladega. What a final race as we look at these gentlemen trying to figure it out.
You
And
guys want a climax? Here's your climax. We don't do championship races here the easy way.
Well, Florida man officially ruled out. Garand still in the pit. Is he going to come back? We're not sure. But your top 3 right now: Beverly, Lynott, and Owens. Zero Chill. Your series leader, Novella in 6. Vulpes right ahead of him. If one of these guys makes a mistake, it's going to be a championship for the other one. Novella, just follow the car in front of you, guy. Just follow the car and see how you do. It's pitch black, see. This is going to be a wild finish.
I'm lost for words here, but we're going to try to find some as we hopefully enter the Geico restart zone for the final time today in overtime at Talladega in our final round of the Gen 6 pack. Pitch black conditions here. Let's roll the dice and see what we can do. I believe they've fired off, so we are green. We are green.
Nobody's
There we
going to
are.
let off.
Lynott and Beverly go over the line. They are side by side. Lynott takes the lead from Beverly, and I cannot see a thing.
Nobody's going to let off. There's sparks. There's sparks on the wall on the outside. I mean, what do you do here, see? Do you
Sparks, more sparks.
I mean, if
You
I'm
ride the wall?
I ride the wall. I'm Ross Chastain. I put it against the wall. I drop the hammer, and I just ride this thing around.
This is crazy and not the most conventional form of racing I've seen, but these guys are going for it because they're all champions in my eyes at Talladega tonight.
They know. They've put in 80-something laps at this point. They know how fast the car goes. They know when to turn left. The question is there a guy in front?
As we go on board with Joe Vulpes, you can see what he sees right now. The only glimmer of light as we just hit our Credit 1 final lap. White flag is out. One more time around the treacherous high banks of Daytona.
6 cars on the lead lap. Lewis 1 lap down 7. Norris in 2 laps down. Duvall, Garand out of the race. Vulpes in the lead. Lynott right behind him. Colonel Jack Sanders himself in 3rd. Owens 4th. Novella drifting back to 5th. Could it be? See, this is the final lap. Could we see Vulpes steal the defeat from the jaws of victory?
There's about half a lap remaining here. They're on the back stretch, for best I can tell. Vulpes still has the advantage, but Lynott is on his tail. We'll see how this clears up as we get a view of the finish line there. And I think Vulpes took it, G-Money.
Joe Vulpes is going to win the race 6 of the 6-pack, taking the championship. Lynott 2nd, Colonel Sanders 3rd, No Chill Owens in 4th, Matt Novella 5th, 24 seconds behind. Did he not know where 5th gear was on his car?
I don't know if he knew there was still a race going on. My goodness, as we finish without the help of artificial light in the pitch black at Talladega. What a race.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what I just witnessed.
We need to go to the points. We need to add up those points and see, does Vulpes overcome that 11-point deficit with that victory and Novella's 5th place finish, or does Novella have enough to hold on?
I don't know, but we just witnessed mayhem. The series just stayed true to its name as we see Joe Vulpes doing victory donuts and acting like a pinball by his fellow competitors. I love it.
Yeah, somebody just help that guy get a few more spins, as he is burning down those half a good 4 Goodrich tires.
And we see that the toe is completely out on both tires. The toe link is gone.
Yeah, that is something we thought we'd see more in the next gen rather than these Gen 6 cars. But what a race! This thing was back and forth. We saw guys in 10th place make their way back up into first within 2 laps. Oh, and everybody's spinning now. Look at this.
Look at the bumper cars. It's a glorious event. Look at this smoke show.
Owen's getting in on it. He's doing a little bit of spinning. The 5 of Sanders is spinning. This is something. I need to go to the points, though. I need to go to the points
Look at
stage.
the carnage on Vulpes's car. You don't think he worked hard to get that victory tonight? He left it all out there on the track. Look at him, Monster Energy on board. He says, I'm ready to slam one after that.
Unbelievable. That is Vulpes' 2nd win of this 6-race season. But still, I got to know. Novella, 1 at Bristol, 1 at Homestead. The guy finished 5th. Did he come up short? Let's add
Joe,
those points.
do you have any words to say after that amazing victory without the sun?
Yeah, so we couldn't see anything down here. It's almost like we're in a blindfold watching these cars come around the racetrack, to be fair. But we did see the 13 car come across the line first, and all the mayhem and chaos that happened. There were so many wrecks there in those last 2 laps. So you had Matt Novella. He got involved in a wreck, I believe, with Steve Lewis and Brian Norsworthy, maybe John Beverly as well. David Owens. They did. Everybody was just wrecking there in that last lap. Jack Sanders as well. It seemed like from the reports in the car is that Vulpes and Lynott were tandem drafting around the track on the last lap, and Lynott could not get around the 13 car there due to just not being able to see where he's going, just trying to follow that 13 car around the track and make it home in one piece. And it looks like I'm hearing reports that the tally on the points is that Vulpes is going to win the championship by 2 points over Matt Novella. And I will head down to pit road here with my spotlight and try and see if I can find Joseph Vulpes to interview for you guys.
A 2-point win.
Wow, incredible.
Oh,
Incredible.
my God. I mean, if he's not getting pushed those last few laps, he loses his championship. What a way.
You're going to have to ask him how he was able to determine, read Braille, go by osmosis. How did he get around the track? You couldn't see a thing. We couldn't see anything calling that final restart.
No, it was pitch black on that track. But at some point, you dig down deep, you know where that outside wall is, and you just push. And if you got the clean air, if you know no one is in front of you, you got a whole lot more confidence. But if your spotter's telling you, I don't know where you are and I don't know where they are, you back off. And that's why we saw Novella finish 29 seconds behind your leader, Joe Vulpes, taking that win. And let's go down right now to the pits and see if we can get that interview with Joe Vulpes. Joe, can you hear me, buddy?
Yo, I got you.
Pitch black, my friend. What are you seeing? I mean, could you even see over the front bumper of your car?
Well, I'll tell you what, there on that first green white checker where Steve Lewis and Duval wrecked there, that first green white checker was about the last time I could see tell the difference between anybody's car, pretty much, because everybody driving a dark paint scheme out here. So it's everybody just started blending. The track blended in with the grass. You couldn't tell where the banking ended or started. It was probably the most chaotic last few laps I've ever ran. I don't know how I was able to finish the race, mind you, in first place. So what I had to do there, I got very lucky that Kyle Lynott was driving a beautiful car that was also a bright color. So I was able to mirror drive around the track there on that last lap, make sure he didn't get a run on me, and while also just using that wall, you could see, because another bright color, nice white wall around the track. You could see where the wall is, and just use that as a guide to make my way around and win this race.
Oh, Joe, you didn't just win the race, my friend. You won the six pack of the Gen 6 car here for MRL Monday Night Mayhem. Congratulations, my friend. Impressive win, impressive championship. Your name's going to be on the plaque, my friend. And I got to tell you, here from the booth, bravo.
It's really nice here. We've had a really good season over here at Gulf Coast Racing. I was able to pull off a couple other championships myself there. I was able to win the Wednesday championship this season in the Xfinity Series, which I was very, very proud of myself. So this is another nice little notch in the belt. I know David Owens. He just collected another one. He won the Friday Night Beer League at Talladega. Ironically, same track. Don't worry, guys. It wasn't in the same kind of lighting situation. Uh, he was able to finish the race with the sun still shining over Talladega, and actually able to see where he's going on the track. So, it's some great stuff. Also, be sure to come check out Bonfire Premier Cup. We got that championship race coming up on Sunday morning at Michigan. And big shout out to Cavacay Racing Network. I just did a broadcast with them at Chicagoland, actually, for Bonfire Premier Cup. So Kevin Kyle, great broadcasting with you. Same with Jared the Showboat Kelly. And big shout out to Pim Luth for putting a lot of the behind the scenes stuff together with Joe, the pit row Joe the producer, whatever you'd like to call him, with these great camera angles to see the absolute darkness of the track and the absolute great run that we had to the finish there.
I'll tell you what, Kyle and Pim putting on a great broadcast and production value over in our sister network right there. Um, Putting on some good racing on Sunday mornings. Joe, really appreciate the effort that you have put out here today for all of us. And congratulations, my friend. This the victory alone is impressive, but just being able to make it around a pitch black track. Yeah, you had Lanot with a lighted car, but the guy's behind you. If he takes a wrong turn, you take a wrong turn. So I'm going to give you a little bit more credit than you're willing to give yourself. Heck of a run, Joe. You're going to finish fourth. Kyle Lynette behind you. Colonel Sanders third. Owens fourth. Matt Novella 27 seconds behind you would be the second car finishing in the series. See, what do you think? This was the one of the most insane finishes I think I've seen in iRacing.
Yeah, that was quite an unconventional way to see a race unfold in the final moments, especially going for a championship and bragging rights. I will say I did not see this coming, and it was very exciting. Very exciting to see. I hope our viewers out there really enjoyed that too, or at least were scratching their heads enough to say, "Hey, I want to tune in on future broadcasts and see what these guys are doing."
It's really insane. Rarely do you see the pitch black track, especially on a super speedway. And I challenge you. I challenge you, the viewer, to try to go around a 2 mile track at 200 miles an hour in pitch black conditions, and just see how well you're going to do. These guys have already put in 80, 82 laps of the 86. So they had a feel of when that turn was going to occur, but still very challenging. And to see Vulpes, who was the one of the series leaders, manage to go ahead and pull off that win at the end, super impressive right here. Joe Vulpes, your six pack Gen 6 champion. Congratulations, Joe. You enjoy that win tonight, sir.
And big thanks to all those that participated for this six race mini series. The Gen 6 pack, a lot of fun, a lot of diversity. Our only broadcast of it was this race, but stay tuned for future announcements on a recruitment period and a new season for the Monday Mayhem Cup Series that will be featuring the next gen cars. Uh, Been a fun time, G Money. I can't say any more about it. It had a little bit of everything for everyone tonight. What do you have to close for us?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, here on the MRL Broadcasting Network, you're going to see the finest in iRacing. We've got our Big Trucking Tuesday, Monday Night Mayhem, Friday Thunder. You're going to see continuous racing at the highest level. And right here on MRL Network is when you're going to want to be to watch that. Again, live from Talladega. Congratulations, Joe Volpus, on your championship. My name's G Money, my broadcast partner, Snake, and down in the pits, Pit Rojo, coming to you with some of the best racing in iRacing. Have a wonderful evening, and we shall see you next time on the track. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.